we'll switch our attention now to kind of the free agency signings throughout the league. Obviously, we just focused heavily on our teams. But I'll just kind of go through the top 10. This is according to CBS Sports. Obviously, probably the biggest name out there, or at least the biggest quarterback out there, was Sam Darnold. He leaves Minnesota, goes to Seattle. 3 years, $100 million. Good for him. T. Higgins gets the franchise tag for what seems like the 8th year in a row. But hey, can't feel too bad for him. He'll be making $26.2 million this year. Josh Sweat, as I mentioned, leaving the Eagles. He'll be heading to the Redbirds, the Cardinals. 4 years, $76 million. Trey Smith, the guard out of Kansas City, was franchise tagged for $23 million this year. Ronnie Staley, offensive tackle, stays in Baltimore, 3 years, $60 million. Milton Williams, as I mentioned again, Eagles to New England, 4 years, $104 million. Good for him. Get your money, son. Best of luck in the playoffs. I don't know if you'll see it again. But Drew Dahlman, maybe one of the best offensive linemen, or maybe the best center in free agency in a long time. He's heading to Chicago. 3 years, $42 million. DJ Reed, cornerback, he is leaving the Jets. He is heading to much greener pastures in Detroit. 3 years, $48 million. Jevon Holland, the safety out of Miami, no longer. He is in New York to play for the Giants on a 3 year, $45 million deal. And of course, finally, Zach Baun, 3 years, $51 million. He is staying in Philadelphia. Raider Jim, any thoughts on those or any of the other free agencies that maybe intrigued you or you had any thoughts on?
Yeah, a couple. I guess these are more back page. These definitely aren't the top 10 guys, but it kind of made me scratch my head or go, well, that's kind of interesting move these guys would make. Cooper Kupp to Seattle. I mean, in a way it does, but in a way it doesn't because they also have. I mean, they've got Cooper Kupp, but if you think he's going to walk in and be the caliber he was 3 seasons ago, even if we want to go back that far, and he's going to fill the shoes of DK Metcalf. Oh, that's going to be kind of disappointing, I think. So we'll see what happens with Cooper. The Chargers picked up a lineman from Philadelphia, Mekhi Becton. Big kid. He can do a lot of. I shouldn't say he can do a lot of things. He's a big kid, and he can make things happen. At the same time, he seems to have these lapses when he's out there on the field, and so interesting. It's not like the Chargers did anything to help their offensive line to get just, a solid anchor. Maybe they can develop him into something more than he was at Philadelphia. He didn't do, you would be able to speak better about that as far as the Eagles go, but interesting to see what'll happen. One that I absolutely hate, Dre Greenlaw from the Niners to the Broncos. Why do I hate that? Because we don't need to see him. We, the Raiders, don't need to look across the line and see that guy staring down at you, getting, revving his engine and getting ready to come at you. He is a dangerous, dangerous linebacker. Congratulations to the Broncos for picking him up. And the caliber of their defense just got a lot better this offseason. Devante Adams to the Rams till he stumps his feet and decides he's not getting the ball enough, and then he'll want to go play somewhere else. I really thought he might hold out until he saw where Aaron Rodgers went, and then have his agent, hey, call these guys. Tell them I'm available. Dante Fowler from Washington to Dallas. I never understand the internal division things when they make the trades like this. It's like, why do you want to keep these guys, in the put them on the competitor there? They're going to come back if they got a chip on their shoulder and they're going to make your life miserable twice a year. Jonathan Allen, defensive tackle, Washington, from the Commanders to Minnesota. Good for Minnesota because they needed a little help on defense last year. The way I read one article is they referred to it as kind of a slow bleed on the defensive line in Minnesota. So we'll see what happens. But I like Jonathan Allen, so we'll see how much he's going to help them. So yeah, that's those were the ones that caught me. And again, more back page, but just kind of like, wow, these things are happening. So many things between the free agency, the draft picks. You and I think it's maddening to read all the prognostications for March Madness. Oh, what's the final field going to be? Who's this going to be? Where's the boy? I'll tell you what, you start reading free agency for the NFL and the drafts, you can drive yourself absolutely nuts.
Yeah, it's paralysis by analysis in certain situations.
Bingo.
A lot of times in the NFL, goodness gracious, I love a 24-hour news cycle, but sometimes it's like, okay, we don't need to know about that. But going back to the Mekhi Becton thing, obviously I don't know if he was a top 5. I know he was a first round pick. I want to say he was a top 10 pick of the Jets. Didn't really work. And a lot of it was on the field, but also to look, the New York sports media, the New York sports landscape, it is not a very forgiving place. And I don't know Mekhi Becton, but I can tell, like, even in the videos of him with his kids in the Super Bowl, which I just absolutely love, but you can tell that is an emotional man. And there's nothing wrong with that. However, sometimes when you are emotional and you're struggling and you get put into an environment that is New York,
Yeah.
that's not a great, you know, combo. And the Eagles essentially kind of took a flyer on him, and signed him up. I don't know what the exact number was, but obviously just a 1-year deal. If you ask any Philadelphia Eagle fan that really, knows, and you ask any offensive line question about any player that ever played in the last 10 years, every single one will say the same thing: Jeff Stoutland. If there is one positive from the Chip Kelly experience that left as bad of a taste in our mouth as anything ever, he brought in Jeff Stoutland, and Jeff Stoutland for me is the best assistant in football. Ask anyone on the know who can turn someone from an average into a great offensive lineman. Jeff Stoutland is at the top of everyone's list. Jordan Mailata is arguably the best tackle in football.
Mhm.
He never played football until he stepped foot into Philadelphia after the draft, the 7th round pick. That's what Jeff Stoutland does. When you watch Sunday Night Football and they do, where did, Brandon First, USC, Jordan Mailata, Jeff Stoutland University. And that's what it's called, because that's what it is. And I don't want to discredit Mekhi Becton and say, oh, the only
Oh,
reason
no.
he was as good as he was because of Jeff Stoutland, but I do think there is some of that there. I think he's going to be a good player, but I don't think he's going to be at the caliber he was with the Eagles for a lot of reasons. Because you do have a really good offensive line outside of Mekhi Becton in Philadelphia, not so much with the Chargers. But I'm rooting for Mekhi Becton. I obviously would have loved to see him in midnight green again, but at the same time, you got to get your money. I have no ill will towards him, and I hope he has a great career with the Chargers. And it is nice he's out of the division. And definitely the conference. We don't have to deal with that. But again, we are playing the AFC West this year, so we will see Big Beck